This segment brought to you by Report on Mining.
This scenic location is home to BC and Canada's first new molybdenum mine in about a decade. Roca's Max molybdenum mine is nestled in the mountains about 60 kilometers southeast of Revelstoke, BC. Foreseeing an exceptional opportunity to generate a quick cash flow, Roca's first stage of production will focus on the deposit's high-grade zone, containing 280,000 tons graded at 1.95% molybdenum sulfide, and existing access to them.
So this is our number one adit at the Max molybdenum mine, and it's an adit or a tunnel that was developed in the early 1980s. When we came to develop this mine, it saved us probably about a year and a half of development work just to get up and running into production.
Is the tracking already in place?
The track was here too, and we've preserved the track. It's 36-inch gauge. It was installed by those major companies as the primary means of moving material in and out. For us, it works really, really well now, given the ventilation restriction, because we can use battery-powered machinery, battery-powered locomotives that pull the ore cars in and out of the mine. And that reduces our ventilation burden some more, right? So it's a great way to get started. But we need to get past having only one access sometime soon. We've actually already started the development of another adit, about 30 meters just on that side of the hill here. And it's going to be parallel to this adit. And once it breaks through to our working area, we'll be able to blow air in one adit and exhaust out the other. And then we'll be able to operate at a higher throughput rate and have much better air quality in terms of the amount of equipment we want to run underground as well.
Once the ore is retrieved from underground, it will make its way to the crusher building for further processing. In an effort to reduce equipment costs and startup time, Roca purchased used machinery from a mine in Washington. Mining engineer Robin Fraser explains how the crushing process works.
The ore is delivered to the coarse ore bin, which is capable of holding 400 tons. So they dump it through the grizzly on the top of the coarse ore bin. This apron feeder draws it from the bottom of the bin and sends it through this jaw crusher, which will size it down to minus 2.5 inch. Then it drops on the number 1 conveyor. The ore travels up number 1 conveyor to the transfer tower, transfers to number 2 conveyor, travels up to the vibrating screen, which has 1/2 inch screen panels in it. The minus 1/2 inch will go through the screen onto number 3 conveyor and is delivered to the fine ore bin. Plus 1/2 inch overflows into the cone crusher, which is a 5.5 foot Simmons. Crushed to minus 1/2 inch. Back on the number 1 conveyor for another run at the screen. The minus 1/2 inch should go through and travel to the fine ore bin for storage prior to entry into the mill.
After the ore makes its way through the crushing facility, it's carried along this conveyor belt. It'll be transferred into a mill where it's going to be processed even further. It'll be ground up into a fine particle about the size of flour.
Okay, so we've sized the ore to minus 1/2 inch. It's now stored in the fine ore bin. We feed it from the fine ore bin into this ball mill. This cylinder contains large balls, 3 inches in diameter, steel balls, and they grind that ore down to a consistency of flour. We add water, and that liberates the molybdenum particles.
Silvery thing we're seeing is actually the molybdenum?
Yes, well here you don't really see the molybdenum, it's only a slurry. It's about 1% to 2% molybdenum, but you don't really see it visibly. It goes into the pump box, and it's pumped up to a cyclone. The cyclone separates the coarse particles from the fine particles. The fine particles go through the overflow to flotation because they're ready to recover the molybdenum off. Okay, so once you've ground the material so that it's the proper size, it reports to flotation. It's about 40% solids by weight right now, solids and water. We add a frother which creates bubbles, and we inject air into the bottom of the cell. And because molybdenum is naturally hydrophobic, or it repels water, it will go to the air bubble and float. And it's that simple. There's no hazardous chemicals really involved here. Very simple process. It's proven for 100 years now. So once we've floated the molybdenum, it reports to this tank. It's called a thickener. The thickened material is then pumped through this filter press, which has multiple plates with filter cloths in between them. The solids stay inside the chambers. The water travels through the filter, the cloths, back to the thickener. Once the press is full, we blow it down with high pressure air. and that removes about 92% of the water. Our concentrate product has about 8% moisture in it. So we dump them in the bags, we weigh the bags, number them, and we slide it out here in preparation for shipment.
How much does one of these bags hold?
We're loading them to 1,300 kilograms right now.
And once it's finished being bagged, Broughton explains where the end product goes from here.
The final bagged product actually gets sold at the mine, which is kind of a unique thing for a commodity like this. We basically send it off to a buyer in the United Kingdom, and he takes off all of the concentrate that we produce. Well, you know, our job here really was to fast track a mine development, and we're really proud of that. We built this mine, got it producing in about a year and a half. Pretty fantastic rate of pace here and getting things done. We really focused on getting the equipment running, making it work, make production, and make bags of molybdenum concentrate. That was our bottom line. We didn't dwell so much on how it looks, finishing up on the siding and whatnot. You can see on the building behind me, we have to get siding on that yet.
Broughton says that although Max is still in a startup phase, they're starting to ramp up to reach their annual production goals.
Our annual goal for production going forward is around 5 million pounds annually, right? So it still sort of fits within the scale of molybdenum mines as a significant producer, but out of our feed, the mine has a relatively small scale production. 500 to 1,000 tons a day is what we're ramping up to right now.
And given Roca's moderately low capital costs, under 30 million US, and the strong trading price for moly, this company is in a very desirable position for a new project, as they have cash flow, which in turn gives them expansion opportunities.